This story is about Darrell Brooks, aka Math Boy Fly, who killed 6 people, including an 8-year-old kid, on November 21st, 2021 in Waukesha, Wisconsin. These opinions are for entertainment purposes only. If you like hearing stories about people who suck, then like and subscribe. Darrell Edward Brooks Jr. was born on February 2, 1982 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. His father is Darrell Edward Brooks Sr. His father was an alcoholic and was abusive to his mother. He was also an absent father, so Brooks was raised by his mother. His mother is named Dawn Woods. Brooks described her as a Christian woman with Southern roots that steered him away from trouble on the streets. He had a twin sister named Ebony, who died of an unknown illness. Brooks grew up poor in the inner city full of drugs and prostitution, barely surviving on welfare. His mother stated in an interview that she noticed that there was something wrong with him when he was 6 years old. At the age of 12, he was diagnosed with bipolar and personality disorder. He was admitted to a mental hospital and attempted suicide multiple times. He had an interest in music when he was young and eventually became a rapper going by the name Math Boy Fly. Old social media posts showed that Brooks advocated for violence against white people and Jews. He also rapped about being a terrorist and a killer in the city. When he was 17, Brooks was charged with substantial battery in Milwaukee County. When he was 24 years old, he was convicted for having sex with a 15-year-old girl. He also abused that girl and even ran over her with a car. She survived being run over by the car, but was injured. He got that girl pregnant, and she gave birth to the child. Brooks was sentenced to probation and became a registered sex offender. When Brooks was 25, he was in a documentary about methamphetamine addiction called Crystal Darkness. It features an interview with Brooks, who was a drug addict, while he was jailed in Reno, Nevada. In the interview, he says, "You actually become the drug, not even a human being." When he was 28, Brooks got into an argument with a woman, shoved her to the ground, and tried to strangle her, but she survived. He was sentenced to 90 days in jail with work release and 3 years probation. When he was 29, police officers stopped him because he was not wearing a seatbelt. Brooks panicked and tried to drive away, almost running over the police officer. He was charged with resisting an officer. When he was 30, he got caught up in a sex offender sweep, where it was discovered that he provided a fake address on his sex offender registration. He was arrested for failing to obey sex offender laws. He jumped bail and has had an open arrest warrant out for him ever since. When he was 38, Brooks was accused of shooting at his nephew, Anaji Brooks, during an argument over a cell phone in Milwaukee. No one was injured in the shooting. In 2021, when Brooks was 39, he was arrested in a domestic violence case. A man told police he confronted Brooks after hearing what sounded like Brooks beating a woman on the other side of a wall in a hotel. Brooks has also been charged with witness intimidation. Also in 2021, there was a separate incident where Brooks got into an argument with a woman at a gas station. He punched her in the face and then ran her over with his car, leaving the woman with a busted lip, dry blood on her face, and tire tracks on her left pants leg. He was charged with recklessly endangering safety and 1 count of felon in possession of a firearm. On November 21st, 2021, Brooks was involved in a domestic disturbance minutes before the massacre. His mom paid the $1,000 bond when he was being held for beating his former girlfriend and running over her with his car. Some have said that the bail amount was too low. If the bail had been higher, then Brooks would not have been released and the killings would not have happened. This led to a backlash against bail reform. Brooks drove a red 2010 Ford Escape SUV at about 40 miles per hour through the annual Christmas parade in Waukesha. One police officer banged on the hood of the SUV in an attempt to get the driver to stop. Another officer then fired his gun in an attempt to stop the vehicle. The parade was live streamed, and other attendees captured the incident on videos later posted to social media. 2 eyewitnesses told reporters that the driver did not initially stop. All they could hear was people screaming and crying. One witness described the driver as calm and composed. Police reported that the driver deliberately targeted the crowd, driving in a zigzag pattern to hit as many people as possible. Brooks killed 5 adults and an 8-year-old child. He injured 48 others. Brooks left the vehicle and fled the scene. He hid in the house of a Waukesha resident by telling the homeowner that Brooks was homeless and waiting for an Uber. The man was unaware of the events that had occurred and permitted Brooks briefly inside his home, giving him a sandwich and slippers, but asked him to leave when police pulled up. Brooks left without incident and was arrested that night. Darrell's mother defended her son's actions by using his mental illness as an excuse. She said that instead of offering help and resources to combat the mental health problem, a jail cell was given. She also said that Brooks did not mean to hurt anybody. His mom said she regrets bailing him out of jail right before the massacre. She also thinks Brooks should not go to prison, but instead be sent to a facility where he can get therapy and medication. Brooks acted like he was the victim and said that he felt like he was being demonized. Brooks pleaded not guilty to all charges. Later, Brooks changed his plea to not guilty by reason of insanity. He withdrew his insanity defense after court-ordered psychiatric evaluations did not support his claim. Brooks fired his lawyers and represented himself in the court of law. During his trial, Brooks was repeatedly removed from the courtroom after failing to comply with decorum. Some of these courtroom antics included temper tantrums, talking over the judge, glaring at the judge in a threatening manner, taking his shirt off in the courtroom, hiding under his jacket, hiding under a box fort, and numerous interruptions. Some people have said that Brooks was trying to get a mistrial by getting the judge to lose her temper and appear biased. Another theory is that he was trying to appear insane so that he can plead not guilty by reason of insanity. On October 26, 2022, the jury returned with guilty verdicts on all 76 counts after deliberating for a total of 3 hours and 15 minutes. President Joe Biden condemned the massacre, calling it a horrific act of violence. First Lady Jill Biden visited Waukesha to meet with victims and their families. Pope Francis sent prayers and condolences to the victims. That's the end of the video. If you like the video, then like and subscribe. It only takes 2 seconds and would really help me out. Feel free to check out the other videos on my channel.